If I were to blow bubbles with my ass, what would that be like? I feel like there'd be strain involved.
Well, it's a learned procedure.
Yeah.
You don't just sit down on day one and
Just blow bubbles with your ass. You build up to that.
yeah, it's like becoming a Jedi.
Yeah.
You don't just block bullets with your
just
lightsaber.
Lift that X-wing out of the swamp. You gotta work up to it.
You got to make bubbles in the swamp first.
No one intervened on behalf of...
Good. Get good. Jim Overton, and I'm Trent along. And today, we have
Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff. Or if you're Trey,
Money!
Oh, God. Create shit.
I don't know, what if you had 60 chickens?
An inch and a half, that's about that.
That's about there.
You said it with confidence. Hey, kid, that limp was pretty good, but that wince was money. He's had him throwing a goat, and in midair, he's just like, ah!
Like, I don't know what sound a Barry Manilow makes. You know what a hawk sounds like, right?
I do. It sounded like you were trying to say a word. Jody in the Soapbox is opening for Retro Garbage tonight. We gotta get there, man. We gotta get tickets. The first thing we're gonna buy with our gumball money is an animated butt.
What just chaps your nipples? Like, what is it?
What is it, boy? I don't know, son. It's just a joke.
Gary Bankston.
And today, we've got our hands absolutely full. Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff, or if you're Trey, create shit. And today, we have our hands absolutely full with yet again another content creator. Who are we talking about?
We are talking about Butt Talks TV.
All right, so there's your spoiler for who we're going to be talking about later and why your colon might not be as healthy as you think it is. It's unlike any other creator we've ever featured.
Yeah. I think it's important, though, because they're educational. It's something that I think we need to talk about, that people need to be aware of. So, yes, Butt Talks TV. Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about our butts in a little bit.
Yes.
We always talk about our butts, but now we're going to go a little more in depth. We're going to get some education with it.
We're going to go deeper?
Yeah, we're going to go deeper.
Okay.
With our butt talks.
And deep into the annals of what is
talks.
butt talks.
Yeah.
And yes, talking about butts is a craft. So we're staying true.
She's good, man. She's funny.
I know. So with that being said, today we're going to be talking about not just getting creative, rather staying creative.
That is correct.
And what that means.
So I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out real quick to Rishi Draws on TikTok for inspiring this conversation. It is a video. What?
Draws.
Yeah.
We just went from butt talks
to draws.
to draws. I didn't even think of the two. Yes, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, we are children.
Yeah.
And we are unapologetically upfront about it.
Shout out to Rishi Draws for this. He draws. He's an artist.
Now I'm thinking Reese draws. Reese draws.
Those peanut butter skid marks.
Oh, gosh. So, seriously, we want to thank and give a shout-out.
For inspiration, we saw this, I don't know, it was about a minute and a half. No, it may have been a 3-minute TikTok. It was a nice, decently... It had a nice, decent length to it.
Yeah. If he watches this, sir, just know you inspired us both.
You really did.
I went straight to
We
Trey and I
had a
said...
deep conversation on this. We really did.
And we said this needs to be on the show. So thank you. I'm sorry that we're children.
So the gist of his video is that we are all born artists.
Yes.
Somewhere along the way, we lose that. We forget about it. And so the key is to remain an artist. Or to come back to that. And I think that's an important message, not only for artists, but for creators in general.
Right.
And so we decided to take it and make a podcast episode out of it, because I think it's something that needs to be talked about and discussed.
It very much should be, and how, as kids, we can be stifled from.
I think a
our
lot of it
adult
comes down to
counterparts.
a lot of it comes down to the educational system, like because they're worried about grades, so everybody has to learn the same way. Everybody, I mean, it all fits down. It's so formulaic. There is no room for creativity, and you have to stamp that out.
And I think that might have to do with certain subjects in our education system, because there's definitely teachers who flourish in encouraging kids about exploring their creative side and putting the not just allowing it and not stifling it, but encouraging it and praising it.
Yes, and you can see it as you at least here in the U.S. I can't vouch for any other countries, but at least from my experience in school, you can see it. You start off at kindergarten. Well, kindergarten, you finger paint, you go outside and play recess, and you read books and all kinds of stuff. You create with hands-on, like making. I don't know. You take Legos and put them together, and that teaches you numbers and stuff like that. And then as you progress, as you get to closer to 5th grade, and you're coming out of elementary school, it really buttons down and. Now it's all pen and paper, and that creativity's you get a little bit of it. Maybe you're very lucky to watch, at least when I was in school and probably when you were in school, very lucky to have a Bill Nye episode a day, get to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy in science class in 5th grade. That was the best.
Yeah.
And then getting to do a little experiment along with that. And then as you progress further and further in the middle school, you start getting less and less of that. And then in high school, there's none of it unless you're taking. It's basically reserved for extracurricular activities, whether that's an extra, I took band, or maybe you took chorus, or maybe you took art or drawing. But for the most part, the rest of that, if you don't take that, or whatever, then it's just this cold, hard book by book to paper learning. Very gray and dull and just
systematic.
Yeah, very systematic.
Not that there's anything wrong with systems.
No. And
having a system in place.
Yeah.
To keep things on track and to teach those very valuable principles. Of learning.
Well, yeah, we're there to learn.
Of course, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking.
I just think it could deal with a little more creativity. I think instead of pushing out the creativity, maybe we bring a little bit of that back in. Because we're humans. I think we need that creativity. As humans, we're all drawn to art in any type of form. You might like reading books. You might like watching movies. You might like actually drawing or painting. You might like video games. Video games are an art.
Or drawing inspiration from those things.
Yes. I guarantee you listen to music. You watch movies. Maybe you go and see a play or an opera or whatever your vice may be. Mm-hmm. But we all love art in some form. Because without art, this world would be very, very dull and boring and bland. And
so I'm going to hit on this now because I think it's important when it comes to that. And this is going to be my biggest point that I can make with this topic. And before it gets drawn on and people may, tune out, click off, whatever.
How dare they?
It's not. Yeah, really. What are you doing? Don't let me forget about Bill Nye, though. I want to bring him up, too. All right, I'll write it down. Because speaking of Bill Nye, Kathy Lee, screw you. Yes, I said it. Bill Nye.
Damn.
I saw. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
All right. Well,
it has to do with
teaser.
Sam the cooking guy.
All right.
That video that you watched, I showed you the other day, which just massive props to him.
Yeah. Maybe you love cooking. Cooking is an art.
Exactly. No, we've talked about you and your French fries.
Oh, yeah, my French fries.
Yeah, they were very good.
Oh, thank you.
Goodyear shares are up 5%.
Oh, well, that's
so
good.
Yeah, good for Goodyear.
Maybe you like to trade.
Maybe you like to trade. That's your art. You're really good at it. So the point that I want to make is, like we said, teachers at a certain point have the ability to stifle a young person's imagination. Yeah. So that starts a very, very vicious cycle of not just stifling. Well, no, stifling the imagination and the creativity, because what does that do? It doesn't just get your mind out of thinking that, okay, maybe one day, I don't know, I am going to fly with monkeys in space, or
it starts there, right? It starts there. It starts with stamping out the idea that, well, you can't fly with monkeys in space. That's impossible. That's unrealistic.
I want to ride a dinosaur.
You can't ride dinosaurs. It starts there, and eventually that is resounding issues down the line to, damn, I need to turn this report in. How do I do it? Well, now you're stuck because you don't have the imagination or the creativity to
On how to get it done.
First, yeah. It stifles critical thinking.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. I think that's what people don't understand about imagination is it's so much more than just this fairy tale land. Like, it's very powerful to use it that way.
Right.
And I don't believe there's anything wrong with it. I myself use my imagination a lot. Like, I stay in my head with these fairy tale scenarios because I think it's healthy and it's fun. And too much, sure, can be unhealthy, but the critical thinking process that goes into that to imagine these can be applied elsewhere.
Right. Exactly.
And it's part of a healthy brain growth, I think.
Exactly. You have a whole part of your brain that's been just cut off. Neglected, cut off,
Withered.
and now it can't grow into other parts of your brain that might make the rest of your life phenomenal.
Well, that's the crazy thing about a brain is how much is interconnected.
Right.
That's the thing with me is there's so many parts of your brain that are interconnected that you would be like, well, I mean, why do I need to worry about that? Well, because it helps propagate the other parts of the brain to work better. Like when they connect and it's a healthy part of the brain. So when a part of that, like the imagination side, that whatever controls that dies or, is stifled, it really stifles the rest of the brain, the other connections that are coming in and being made, because that's what the brain does. It makes connections.
Well, think about the positive imagination being stifled. Well, all you have left is the negative.
Yeah.
How much of that is...
Yeah, now you're catastrophizing.
Right. Now we're more depressed.
Yep.
Now we're way more anxious.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how much of that has started with stop doing this?
Yep.
And it's funny because now people will revert back to that. So if you're super depressed, maybe a video game is what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all you have, and it gives you that bit of, I don't know, escape and an accomplishment too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've been forced with so much stuff a certain way that it's just created.
Every time.
You've got to be
Hi,
kidding me.
David.
It is 2:30 on a Friday. Dude, Hey, dude, what's up?
I'm just sitting in study hall. I figured I'd call you.
Okay. Well, you know how we had this funny talk about how, on Tuesdays you always call whenever we're recording, and then you waited another day to call on Wednesday another time, and we were recording?
Yeah.
Guess what we're doing?
Oh, really? Oh, I can let y'all get back what you're doing.
It's all good, man. I just wanted to answer the phone, and I looked down at my phone, and Trey and I both, our eyes got big because I was like, it can't be David.
There's no way.
There's no way.
I'm going to make a note of this just in case we cut it out.
Dude, it's like, literally, I had no idea that y'all were recording.
Of course you didn't. How could we've literally never recorded at this time specifically
On a Friday.
So, dude,
Draw, my man.
it is luck of the draw. It is so
Yeah.
funny. But all right, dude. Well, so if you're a fan of the show, you've enjoyed the video, David. So say hi, David.
What's going on?
I thought he was going to go, hi, David.
Hi, David. But yeah, if you're watching or listening and you've not checked out our YouTube channel, check it out. There's a video on there called David featuring this bright young man, and it is a hilarious video if we do say ourselves.
Yeah.
And we do say so ourselves.
We do.
With that being said, David, I hope you have a fantastic day, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, love you, man.
Love you, man. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
This is so funny.
What are the odds?
It never fails.
I know.
He goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were recording." I'm like, "Of course you didn't."
Yeah, there's no way he would have.
That's so funny.
Yeah, for those of you watching, this is 2:30 on a Friday. You're used to us releasing at noon on Friday. We're behind.
A little bit.
A little behind. I finally got your voicemail. It came through, so we'll have that for a little bit later. Tease up the old Ryan voicemail segment.
Yep, that'll be coming.
So we were talking about stifling creativity. It hinders the brain. Potentially, I don't know if there's any research that actually went into that. It just seems to me, it seems to me that would be the case.
With
I'm not gonna
depression,
provide you-
anxiety.
Yeah, I don't have any stats for you. Like
I don't
I'm just not
either.
that kind of person.
But I mean, imagine if you've had your creativity stifled and you've been told that what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so classic case. Mom and dad were encouraged to go to college, get good grades,
Yeah.
go to school, get good grades,
Yeah.
get a good job, and retire at 60, 65.
Yeah.
And then now
American
you
dream.
American dream. Now you live a quote
Yeah.
cushy life,
Yeah.
and just do nothing. Go play golf and drink beer, and then die.
Yeah.
Dying will be a formality. You never really lived, sir
Yeah.
or madam.
Yeah.
So now that was the model then. Now you have a young person who really wants to be a graphic designer, and
Yeah.
the market's saturated. Well, it's saturated for a reason. There is a demand.
Yeah.
So let's tell them, no, you shouldn't do that. You should get a stable 9 to 5. If that's what you want to do and that's your passion, full steam ahead.
Well, and there's also, I want to iterate that there's nothing wrong with not making money off of your passion.
This isn't about it's not about money.
I just wanted to hammer that home, that your passions can just be hobbies. If it works for you, working a nice stable job, and that works for you, and you have a hobby on the side that you enjoy, whatever that hobby may be, like maybe you just really love cooking. You come home every night after work and cook,
Right.
or drawing or writing or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that being a hobby. You don't it doesn't invalidate your creativity when you don't make money off
that
of it.
you have a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Where I have a problem with it is if you absolutely hate your job
Oh, agreed.
and you wish you had more time for your hobby,
Yes.
and you keep you know me on this podcast,
get
but
that
if you-
rat race.
but if you keep
Stay in the hamster wheel.
if you stay in the hamster wheel, you're not a tree.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
Do something about it. Yes, was it your parents' fault that they didn't encourage you? Sure, they can be to blame for not encouraging you.
Mm-hmm.
They can only be blamed for what they didn't do
Yeah.
and whatever. But you're now a big girl or boy.
Yeah.
It's now up to you to make that happen. Rather than bitching and moaning every day. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little tuned up.
Yeah.
Because I'm passionate about this.
Yeah. Well, we've had this conversation.
Right.
I think we've had it on mic, maybe.
We might have.
Yeah, I know we've had it off mic.
Yeah, do something about it. Go to work on your dream or your passion. There's not enough time. Well, you don't want it bad enough.
Yeah.
Make time. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you say you have to have 8-9 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Well, get 7. Just sleep faster.
Well, and even just sleep faster. Even if you feel like you don't have enough time, like, start somewhere. An hour here, an hour there, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. A little bit is better than nothing, in my opinion.
Brainstorming session.
Yeah.
Just don't have 1,000 brainstorming sessions before you do something and act
Yeah.
on it.
I think that's where a lot of people, well, you talk about the biggest, maybe Gary Vee that said something along these lines, but like the biggest difference between you and me and the guy that's made it and is successful is he took that first step. He actually did something, because you've got 1,000 people that want something, but only 1 or 2 of them take that first step.
The first step.
And that's always the hardest part. And then it's building a habit, which is I think the second hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
You take that first step, you did well, but it doesn't stop there. Then you're building a habit. Then you're building and continually doing whatever it is that you're trying to do.
And consistency and persistence
Yeah.
is to man as carbon is to steel.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the first quotes I ever hit you with.
Yeah.
I think we were at Cookout.
Yeah.
To me, persistence is to man, carbon is to steel. That was Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. No, we were outside a church.
That's right. I remember that
We
conversation
were
too.
doing
the
press conference for 3 Count.
For 3 Count Pro
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's right. Where I screamed at Tim Smith.
Yeah.
As a part of the show.
Yeah.
But no, we've not been taught those principles in school. So if you have an imagination, if you have a dream,
I think it's because we're not taught those, because they're not. School is not built to make entrepreneurs.
right?
School is built to make workers.
How even though history would tell us that we used to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Well, I think that has changed over the years, and it's more profitable to make your common people into workers than it is for them to all be making businesses and doing their own thing. The more workers you have, the more money you make. So if you can make more workers.
And we've started looking at the number of workers versus the number of. I think we've started shifting towards how many people are employed. You hear about the unemployment rate, employment rate.
Yeah.
We do talk about the amount of businesses that are up and going versus that, but I mean that to me is so like the economy grows when there's more business opportunities.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see it with businesses like Amazon. How many employees does Amazon employ yearly? I mean,
but how many businesses exist that are like Amazon? You know, you've got
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. You've got the one that broke out. Yeah. Or one, not the one, but one that broke out, did insanely well, and now without that entrepreneurial mindset, where would all those work? We wouldn't have all those jobs. Yeah. Maybe they would exist somewhere else. Maybe.
Well, I mean, if you look at the way the school system is broken down, it's meant to make you compliant. It's meant to make you get used to that busy, monotonous work. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Right. It's a machine that's feeding into. It's a factory. Produce little workers.
And usually, if
humans aren't built for that.
If you look, no, it's not. No, they're not. We're not. I am human. But when you look to those folks who started Amazon, Walmart, whatever the crap.
Yeah, Wally Walmart. I remember him.
Yeah, me too.
William Walmart.
William Walmart. I was telling you the Jim Cornette story about the Papa John's.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, Charlie John.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Oh, Michael Internet.
Or no, it was Domino's. Yeah. It was, I want to, at some point, I should tell that story because I think people would get a kick out of it. The old pizza cutter.
Yeah.
No, it was Domino's. Charlie Domino's.
Yeah.
Because Papa John he put himself at the forefront of that.
He's Papa.
He's Papa.
Yeah.
I bet he makes his workers call him Daddy instead of Papa John.
Well, I don't think he's with Papa John's anymore.
Papa John's not with Papa John's?
No.
He did a whole thing.
Yeah, he did a whole thing. So they probably call him other things.
Yeah. Daddy might not be one of them.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think
so. I don't know. Did he serve time? Did he?
I don't remember.
I was gonna say
it's irrelevant.
I would like to think he served time, and now he's having to call somebody else daddy. But no, you look to the people who started these things, and they were the dreamers. They were the ones who did not.
The exact thing that the system stifles and says, "Hey, you shouldn't do that."
Yeah.
They're the ones that came out on top. They're the ones that.
Schultz, Mr. Starbucks.
Yeah.
He was denied. Oh my gosh, it was like he was denied a loan.
Yeah.
For like I don't know, it was like 40 to 50 loans.
Yeah.
He broke away from the place he was working for and said, I'm going to start my own coffee business. And of course, he was just ridiculed, made fun of. Most people, it would have stopped there. They would have said, you know what, maybe I don't have what it takes.
Yeah.
That is really crazy to think about. I'm going to go start this whole thing by myself. Maybe I am just going to stay here and survive on my paycheck and continue to argue with my wife about bills and continue to struggle or, I don't know, whatever the situation may be, if it's less than ideal. Because not everybody's situation, I understand, who works a 9 to 5 is doing bad with money. That's not what this talk is about either. But then getting denied the first loan, can you imagine how many people would have stopped then?
Yeah.
How many people would have stopped after the second or third and said, okay, it really wasn't meant to be?
Yeah.
40, 50 loans denied?
Yeah.
And then somebody finally said, okay. Just like Sylvester Stallone with Pitch and Rocky. He was denied over and over and over. And then, all right, green light.
Yeah.
And now look.
Now Rocky's one of the biggest movies, at least biggest boxing movies of all time.
Thank God he didn't. In one of the most iconic movies of all time. Thank God he didn't follow the system. You know, not saying the system is all bad.
I think it all ties into what we're trying to say is remain creative.
Exactly.
Whatever life throws at you, keep that creative spark alive in whatever way you can. Remember that us as human beings, we are creative. We are a creative species, I guess. I don't know, creative collective individuals. I don't know.
Look at what we've done.
Yeah. And all that, you talk about 2,000 years ago, everything that we're doing today, we're talking into a microphone through electricity, sending it out to people millions of miles away
Right.
across the world. That's only things that people could have dreamed of. And somebody did dream of that. Somebody imagined it and created it.
It was always possible.
Yeah.
We just needed that one person who was crazy enough to try it.
Yeah. So what we're saying is be that one person that's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll all be crazy enough to do it.
Right. You're going to who's to say you're not going to be the inspiration for somebody who desperately needed you?
Yeah.
That's what we hope to do with
Yeah.
this.
And whether it's if you just do it for fun, or if you're trying to be, if you cook, you're the next Gordon Ramsay. If you paint, you're the next Picasso, and that's going to tie in just a second. If you direct or do movies, you're the next Spielberg. Whatever it is, or maybe you just do it as a hobby. Whatever that is, just create. It's an integral part of the human experience, and we need to.
Perhaps you're an independent pro wrestler who said, I want to make it to WWE.
Yeah.
And then after, I don't know, 7 or so years of pursuing it, you realized maybe I don't want to be on the road 300 days a year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a family man at heart.
Yeah.
And I want to keep doing that because it is a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And I don't make a living off of it. Maybe they, hypothetically, I'm not talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about somebody random.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to help run a wrestling show.
Yeah.
And that fulfills them. And they get more joy out of watching the people they train go and succeed in wrestling matches.
Yes.
Maybe you evolve a bit.
Well, and now you're
And your
using
plans
you're
change.
putting your experience to use, and it's a necessity. How are we going to get more wrestlers? Well, somebody needs to train them. Somebody that knows what they're doing. Somebody that's been in the business.
And if you'd have told me or whoever I'm talking
Yeah, if
about,
we told this person.
this random person, when they were 15, that's what they were going to be doing.
Yes.
In 16 years from then. Oh God, 17 now. I've had a birthday since
specific
the last
hypothetical person.
episode. It's super. I keep referring to them as they, but whatever.
Yeah.
They would have said, "I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be the star. I want to be
Yeah.
the one everybody's looking at." And while that is fun, for 5 to 15 minutes in a wrestling match, people can grow and evolve and kind of take that want and / need to have the spotlight on them. I don't know. Maybe you realize I'm confident enough and comfortable enough in my own skin. I don't need that spotlight.
Yeah, I don't need the spotlight. Let me give it to somebody else.
Let
Let
me
me give
give-
somebody else the tools
Right.
and the equipment necessary to prepare so that they can take on that spotlight.
And in doing that, okay, spoiler alert, we're talking about me.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
We've been talking about you this whole time.
Spoiler alert. I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh, you are.
But yeah, we have.
That shirt is just one step up from tolerable.
It's That's so funny. I was gonna say if you know, you know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
I had a pile of clothes I washed that went sour because there was a T-shirt that was soaked from the Get Good scrub video we made.
It wasn't just the T-shirt; it was your shorts and your underwear.
It was my shorts, my
everything.
underwear, my socks.
Yeah.
And
Spoiler alert: we hit you with a hose.
well, you got me all wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as you frequently
Wet
do.
cushy.
Oh God. Oh, me. Your mail's almost here.
No, it's on the other side of the street. It'll be here in a little bit.
That's why I finished with it's almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah. You're right.
But what's fun is in doing that, having trained some guys and a gal, or having a hand in helping train them.
Yeah.
I was able to create a craft, and it was a whole new craft that I had to learn on how to be a teacher / coach and take what I've learned and formulate that.
Yeah.
But just like we talked about earlier, this ties in. What a nice little tie-in.
Yeah.
I had a formula and a system in training someone to be a pro wrestler. And getting the basics and the principles and things like that. But once I've done that, once that foundation has been laid, let's get creative.
Yeah.
I encourage them to bring their own stuff to me. What what does this feel like to you? How are you going to do this and make it your own?
Yeah, let's brainstorm. Let's talk about it. Let's really talk through the ideas that you have.
Right.
Because that's another thing, too. Get your ideas out of your head. Doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go talk to somebody about it, but write it down on a piece of paper or something so that you can look at it objectively. Because there's so many times you have this idea and you're like, man, this sounds great. And then you start talking about it or get it out and verbalize it. And then for some reason you could just start picking it apart and be like, well, actually, no, I don't know if I like that idea. Like maybe I changed this. Get your ideas out of your head and onto in the world somehow. Write it down, type it up on your phone, like text it out. Talk to a buddy about it that you may have a brainstorming session with, whatever. Just get that idea out.
Right. So a good example of that is I just told you I'm going to be meeting up with him, but Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse Barton, who I had a hand, wasn't his only trainer, had a hand in helping him get started and get acclimated to the basics of pro wrestling. So he debuted on one of our shows. For a 3-count show, and he had this idea for a gimmick, and I was like, okay, and he really wanted to do it. Personally, I didn't see it fitting him.
Yeah,
I saw something else for him, but it wasn't up to me. It was him.
It's up to him.
Now, I could have stifled it and said, well, it's our show. We're not going to allow that.
Yeah.
I'd rather you do something else or don't wrestle for us at all.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that because he was, oh my gosh, the epitome of just having that it when it comes to being in the ring and pulling off stuff. Like, I'd like to say you can teach anybody how to bump and run the ropes and do moves. However, this young man, oh my gosh, he looks like he'd been doing it for 10, 15 years, and a lot of stuff doing it way better than I could ever pull off.
And I want to tie in real quick with, you were talking about Jesse, and you were like, well, I don't really see that for him, or I don't see that.
Yeah.
As a creator, if you're creating something, if you see it, if it's something you believe in passionately enough, and you think it has wheels or it has merit, make others see it. Do it anyways.
Exactly.
I think that's important. I mean, there's no telling how many times. Well, he got turned down. We talked about Starbucks. How many times they're like, yeah, I just don't see it. And now look at the vision that Starbucks is, because one man saw it and he made everybody else see it.
So with this story,
anyways,
no, it's fine. It's just it ended a little differently in this way.
That's fine.
With this, it is. I had my reasons, and it wasn't just my opinion.
Yeah,
which was one of my reasons.
Yeah.
So allowed him to do it. Said, go out, do your thing.
Yeah.
And see how you feel. Maybe and I'm like, I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah.
I hope it's something he's passionate about. Hits the gas, and I've heard Ace say it to a couple other guys.
Yeah,
I don't see it. Like, from having done this for years, we don't necessarily get what you're throwing at us.
Yeah,
but prove us wrong. Go do it. Go make it work.
Yeah,
prove us wrong. If it doesn't happen, it's not going to be a "we told you so." It's going to be a "okay, let's tweak it."
Yeah,
and if you would like us to help you tweak it, we can do that. Not that we have all the answers, not even close. No. I wanted him to go do it, so he did it, and athletically he performed great. Yeah, his character and gimmick. After it was over, he said, I don't think I'm going to go with it.
Oh yeah,
and before I said, I didn't think so either.
Yeah,
I said, okay, why don't. What are your thoughts on that? Like, why don't you think it worked?
Yeah.
And he spelled it out, laid it out. So I'm happy that I didn't go with my intuition.
Yeah.
And stifle it or whatever, because what a learning process for him.
He learned better, or he learned more in having to lay it out and really explain why.
Yeah.
It cemented that in him, like, okay, well, it didn't work because of this, and this. Well, now he knows.
Precisely. He removed all doubt. He did it. He actually did it in front of a crowd. Not only a crowd, but his first match.
Yeah.
Talk about the guts that it would take for your debut match. Because it's a first impression.
Oh, yeah.
But it really helped mature me as a coach / advisor, in that, no, let it happen.
Yeah.
Maybe they crush it. maybe they weren't happy with it.
Well, the best learning experience is experience, like doing it. So, like,
Right.
you let a kid, I don't know, they're running and man, their shoe's untied. They keep doing that. And you're like, hey, well, when they fall, they realize, oh, when my shoe's untied, I might fall and get hurt.
Right.
Same thing. He went out there. He was like, well, I see it. I think it's going to work. And then he did it. And he came back and he's like, well, it didn't go as, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And
Yeah.
sometimes that happens. Sometimes you
that's
come up with an
fine.
idea and you see it a certain way. And when you go to execute it, it just doesn't execute the way that you thought it would. Or it executes perfectly and you go, yeah, no, it was better in my head. Like I didn't like it as much. And that's fine.
Right. His glitch character.
Yeah.
Him and I can't tell you the car rides on the
Yeah.
way and back from the gym of us talking about the character known as Glitch.
Yeah.
And he would say something, I'd add to it, he'd add to it, and we would get
Yeah.
so excited about Glitch. And it was a cool character. He just couldn't find his footing with it.
Yeah.
The crowd didn't know how to take it. That doesn't make it any less cool of a character.
Yeah.
He made the conscious decision, maybe I'm going to steer away from that and do something that's a little more, okay, they're either going to like me or they're going to hate me.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for he's continuing to try. He keeps doing and doing
Well,
and doing.
That's the most important thing. Perseverance.
Right. And I almost feel stuck in this Scottish gimmick. Not that I don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
but I kind of wish. Part of me still wishes I traveled and did new shows.
Yeah.
That way I could try a totally new gimmick.
Yeah, just something off the wall.
Off the wall in front of a brand new crowd.
Yeah.
Just to exercise those acting muscles. I love the idea of trying to work with a new character. I have to tell you about the time I had to be the Red Demon.
Okay.
And wear a mask and a full
Okay.
bodysuit. But moving on from that, yes. The last thing I was going to say, or it was going to tie into what my biggest point I wanted to make was, hey, if you're a parent, I don't know, I encourage you to keep that little imagination alive.
Yeah,
if
nurture it.
If they're little, nurture it. Yeah. If they want to grow out of it, then let them.
Yeah, I mean, we're each our own individuals
If-
at the end of the day.
Evolve.
And if we,
Not grow out of.
Yeah,
Let me
evolve.
say evolve.
Yeah. And we're all our own individuals, and
Right.
maybe the kid evolves into something. Maybe they stray away from that imagination. That's fine. Just don't be the one to put that fire out.
Right. Yeah. Let them spread their wings, Mom and Dad.
And tying into that, and this is also thank you to Rishi Draws. This is a quote that they used in their video, but I thought it was a powerful quote, and it is: "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up." And that's from Picasso. I don't know. I think that's a powerful quote. I think it's something that we
Super
can
is.
all I don't know. It ties into this whole episode and what it's about: remembering to be creative, not just getting creative, but remembering to be creative. Because we are creative individuals.
Right. Where there's a barrier, other people see opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, like with us.
Yeah.
Our barrier is that we're not a niche.
Yeah.
We are not specific to
we
one.
don't niche down.
We don't niche down. And
We
that's...
niche up.
Yeah. We do. We just capture all of the niches in a big
Yeah.
old butterfly net.
Yeah.
I imagine you and I running through a field, little niche, and they're going niche, 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 and then we capture them.
Niche, 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 niche.
Niche, niche.
But
I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're good.
Our barrier, once we overcome that,
Yeah.
to me, that is such an opportunity to go, okay, now we have an avenue to let all of the niches in.
Yeah.
Once we are, I don't know, firing on all cylinders. Not
Yeah.
that we're not now. Once people see that we're firing on all
Yeah,
cylinders, we're the best kept secret on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes, baby.
Yeah.
Once we overcome that barrier, what an opportunity to be able to give other creators a platform and possibly educate if there's anything we can offer to the world.
Yeah. I was just going to say, speaking of creative opportunities, we could look at this voicemail.
Cue the animation.
Hey, motherfucker. Ryan's voicemail
What
segment.
you got for us today, Rye? Oh, Ryan. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was rye.
The levy was right. Okay, this was the day after my birthday.
Okay.
He sent me a birthday text on my birthday.
Yeah.
He called me the day before, and then he called me the day after. Didn't call me on my birthday.
Didn't call you.
Just I
text
guess
you.
he was just too busy. But he did leave me a voicemail on Sunday, the day after my birthday.
Okay.
And this is what Ryan had to say.
What's up, you little 32-year-old bitch? I was trying to reach you. I guess you switched plans or something. Did you go to a senior plan? I know they have those phones that have, it's just messages and a phone. That's probably what you need. It's got big buttons on it. Big zoomed in screen so you can actually see what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, I'm assuming that's why you didn't answer my call, because you're in the middle of switching plans. So you can get your senior discount. Totally understand. Give me a call whenever you can, dude.
He said you're switching to that jitterbug.
One of Ryan's more creative voicemails that we've heard on the
That
show.
was pretty good. I liked it.
Turn a year older and
You 32-year-old bitch.
oh man,
Well, happy late birthday.
thank
We
you.
didn't cover it on the podcast last week, so we'll cover it this week.
Well, you wished me happy birthday off camera and
Oh,
off
I did.
mic,
I did.
and you said, "Yep, that's about all you're gonna get from me."
Yeah.
And I said I would expect nothing more.
Yeah.
So
Here's
this is
your something more.
this is such a what a surprise!
Surprise.
You shouldn't have.
Well, I try.
Yeah, do you?
No.
Okay. That is okay. Oh man, I don't mean to stay on this. I don't know, more fired up side of myself, but
Yeah.
screw you, Kathy Lee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me hear about Bill Nye.
So it started with. So I'm a big fan of Sam the Cooking Guy.
Yeah.
He taught me how to cook
He did.
through YouTubes. So thank you, Sam. Well, there was a clip from. It was uploaded to YouTube 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago it actually was.
Yeah.
But I guess the host at that point with this morning show was Kathy Lee and Coda, I believe is how you pronounce her name. It's just Koda.
Some blonde lady and a brunette. That's all I knew.
Yep. So they have been known for just talking over the guests. They're not
Just
prepared.
Very unprofessional.
Extremely unprofessional. I can save a lot of my rant by saying they're very unprofessional. Well, Sam is on here. I couldn't imagine how nervous you'd have to be.
Oh, could you imagine the Today Show?
Yeah.
Oh, my nerves would be an absolute wreck.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane the amount of pressure and the amount of time that you're given to show off your craft. This is something Sam had been at for years, and is still at. So he goes to talk about his it was a salad.
Yeah, I think he was
like
doing the ingredients.
It was I think it was like a Greek tuna salad or something like that.
Sure.
As they're walking behind the counter, I imagine they were coming from their little desk and chairs in their set, and they're walking behind the counter. So Sam is trying to build up and tell them what they're going to be making, and Coda literally says the word tuna 4 times. I encourage you to look up this clip when you're done watching this and listening to this. It is hysterical because you can tell these 2 women had never been put in their place like this quite like that.
Yeah, especially on live TV.
Yeah, and Kathy Lee. I feel like Coda, that's not her personality, but she has to speak up in order to get a word in. Kathy Lee just oozes this toxic personality. So as they're walking behind the desk, Sam goes to talk, gets interrupted. Kathy Lee is talking over Coda. Coda's talking over Kathy Lee. And you can tell Coda is just like, okay, let's do this. I just want to talk. I need to talk. Let me say something. Yeah. Because she says tuna, something tuna. Tuna is the second thing in my house. I don't even know what that line means.
Yeah.
She says, literally, tuna's the second thing we keep in our house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, that's good. They've only got 4 things that they cook with. Tuna's the second one. Good for them.
Yeah. But how are they... is it the second most important? It's the second thing in order in row in your fridge.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
No, son, it's just a quote.
That's right. Good use of that. So they get together. So Sam goes to talk. They both talk at the same time. He goes to talk again. They cut him off again. And he goes, "Can I please talk?" And they both just stop and kind of like look at the camera like, well, how offensive is this?
Yeah.
And he goes, "I've heard a lot of chatter on this show and in the back." He goes, 1 minute, how did he put it? He's like, 60 seconds, pay attention, and you'll have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then and he looked up at the camera after they got quiet, and he goes, "Well, that seemed to have worked." And
Yeah.
then he went back. He didn't apologize.
No.
He just went right back to doing what he was doing. And
Then he makes light of it.
then he makes light of it. He tries to be a professional and continue.
Yeah.
And then Kathy Lee looks at him and says, "You, what was it? I take back what I said about your eyebrows. They're pretty shabby."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he ignores her and keeps talking, so you know that pisses her off even more.
Yeah.
And as he's mixing in his cheese, he goes, I can just hear the crew behind me saying, "Oh, that's the last time he'll be on that on this show,"
Yep.
or whatever. And she goes, "Yeah, we're not used to them talking to her because they don't talk to us like that."
Yeah.
And makes this little face like,
Yeah.
And so they did that to Sam. Sam, he made a very bold statement.
Yeah.
By doing that, in that I'm not going to be screwed with. You invited me on. Let me talk. So that led me to a clip of Bill Nye
Okay.
and just Kathy Lee. It's Bill Nye, Kathy Lee to his left, to his right. And he starts talking about science and really educational stuff. And Kathy Lee, it just looks bored to death.
Yeah.
And she asked him a question, and he answered with a sentence, and then he went to say his second sentence, but she is so quick to jump in that it was kind of like she was being cut off, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
He just wasn't done answering. And this is live television, and she makes this face. If you're watching, she just kind of goes and rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
And puts her hand on the armrest. Well, it cuts to Coda. There was a question. He was doing a little science experiment. Cuts back to them. He goes to do the experiment. He explains why it works the way it does.
Yeah.
She's talking over him, and then she does it again because he had one more thing to say.
Yeah.
And she like sells it even harder that she is so annoyed. It is the most unprofessional thing I think I've ever seen. And it's like, you've got Bill Nye. Like, let him do his thing.
Well, and coming from a producer standpoint and being in not the host position like that, I mean, obviously we have now with the podcast, but like if somebody's like dragging on, like
I just did with my rant.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And we needed to hit it.
No, I get it.
And we needed to hit, like, there was a time constraint, like we've got to hit a break or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can cut them off, and there's a very polite way to do that.
Sure, people do it every day.
But at no point should you make these faces and just have this attitude about it.
I'll show it to you after the podcast. Okay. It's a little ridiculous.
We've had it with radio and stuff. Like, people get excited talking about what it is they talk about. Like, first of all, asshole, you asked them to be on your show,
right?
So you wanted them there to talk about whatever it is that they're talking about. If it's something that they're passionate about, and you ask them to talk about something that they're passionate about, expect them to get excited and be talking about it. Mm-hmm. So don't talk over them.
Right.
Wait until they finish. I mean, that's host guidelines 101. If ever there was a class,
that's
that's
day one.
Yeah, that's day one. Don't talk over your fucking guest.
Yeah.
And then secondly, yes, there are time constraints, especially with live TV, live radio. There's a way to bring a conversation around in a hostly manner, in a professional manner.
If you're good at your craft.
To bring it down, well, that's great, and we'll hear the rest about that after we hit this break. Or whatever.
Right. And if you have to, if she had to cut him off, she could say, "Bill, this is fascinating. If you want to see more of Bill, go check him out here," or whatever.
I don't mean to stop you, but we're coming up on the end of our segment.
Or just say it. Yeah. We're running out of time, Bill. I wish we had more.
Yes.
Be a gracious host.
Don't be a
Kathy Lee.
Yeah, don't be
And
her.
She, I
That's
mean,
not the C word I was going to use. But.
yeah. She, and it'd be different if this happened once or twice,
Yeah.
but it is. I mean, if you watched that show,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, what precedent does that stand as a guest? Like, set as a guest when you look at it and you go, I don't want to be on there. I don't want her treating me like that. Like,
And someone in the comments section said that. They go, "Oh, I'm sure the next guest after Sam was just jonesing to hop on that show."
Yeah.
Like, of course, you're already terrified.
yeah,
But I'll end it with this. They had Sam back on with an etiquette coach.
oh yeah,
The etiquette coach was there to explain to Kathy Lee and Coda and to Sam how that interaction could have went better.
Yeah.
And guess who could barely get a freaking word out?
the etiquette coach.
Because Kathy Lee would not stop interrupting her.
That's
and
funny.
the etiquette coach was there. Basically, 90% of what she said, she didn't get much in. But
Yeah.
what she did say was, as a host, it's gracious to...
Yeah.
And before she could finish, her and Coda both, well, we did. Chirp,
Yeah.
chirp, 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 chirp. Like, it was... Oh,
Yeah.
my God, it was so cringy. And
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
the etiquette coach started by saying, there's rules in, having... She goes, Kathy Lee speaks up and says, there's rules? I didn't know there was rules. I've never had rules. It's like, wow.
That's evident in the fact and the way that you're acting.
Exactly. Oh, man. Oh, William, just sitting on top of Curtis.
Yeah, good thing he doesn't have ears. He doesn't have to listen to this shit.
I know. Bless his heart today. Oh, man.
What a good Bill Nye segment.
I didn't mean to turn today's show into me just
No, you're
ranting
fine,
and
dude.
being fired up about
It's been pretty
stuff.
educational. I don't know. The crowd will tell. The audience will tell.
They
but
will.
I think it was pretty educational. Speaking of educational and butts,
Our featured content creator.
our featured content creator, Butt Talks TV. Hot dog. I love this woman.
And why do you love her so much?
Her content, she's just so wholesome.
Yes.
Like she knows she's talking about butts.
Can't be serious.
Yeah,
talking
like
about that.
if you take it with the serious, if you take it that route, like if you take it too serious, people aren't gonna watch. Because like, come on, lady, you're talking about butts. So she's got just enough humor, and it's the right kind of humor. I don't know how to explain it. It's just this wholesome humor, very lighthearted, but also very educational. And so I believe it's funny because I find this video while I'm pooping, and I find Butt Talks TV, and I was like, oh, this is pretty great. Like, this is educational. I swipe over to her profile, the TikTok, and I start looking at some other videos, and I was like, there's a lot of good stuff here. So I send the video that I first found to you, or no, I send a different video to you.
Oh, right.
I send it to you like immediately, and you text back and you go, oh my God, I just saw her on my For You page.
For the
like
first
Yeah,
time.
for the first time, like 2 videos back. And it was the same
No,
video
it was
that
in the middle
or
of me
that's what it
watching
was,
her
yeah.
video.
That's what it was, yeah.
I stopped. I didn't finish watching her video because I wanted to see what you sent me.
Yeah.
And it was
It was the
her.
same lady. And it was the video that you were in the middle of was the first video that I had watched from her that put me onto her page, that made me swipe right and follow.
Butt Talks was blowing up at the moment.
Yeah. And so I didn't tell you this. I swear to God, later that night, fucking in the group chat that I have with my friends,
That I'm not in.
With Carolyn, I think Woody sent one of her videos, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
All of us. Like, hold on. I'm scrolling back while I'm talking because I want to see it. But yes, it was a Butt Talks TV. So all my friends were on Butt Talk TV the other night, which, hey, good for us.
We've all been. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God that we have all been exposed.
Yeah, seriously. So it's very educational. It's funny. It's very wholesome. It's just this sweet older lady just on there just doing her thing and talking about, well, how do you know if you're constipated? Well, maybe it looks like this. Or, if you want to have healthier poops, take your you need to drink more water. You need to stay more hydrated. So take your body weight, divide it in half, and that's a good starting, kind of a rough guesstimate of how much water you should be drinking in fluid ounces a day.
Exactly.
Like stuff like that. That, and it's the fact that, like, people don't talk about poop. Like, we joke around about it, like, poop, like, it's funny. But I think we should be talking more about, like,
colon health is a real thing.
Yeah. So you can find Butt Talks TV. I just love that name, and that tells you all you need to know right there. That of the humor of this channel, Butt Talks TV, like, that's perfect. That sums it up.
Right.
And it's all one word. So it's Butt Talks TV, and that's 3 T's right there in the middle. Find them on TikTok. She's got 425,000 followers on TikTok. You can find them on Instagram at Butt Talks TV, all one word, with 522 followers. Or if you want to hit them up on YouTube and find some other longer form educational videos, Butt Talks TV. That's all spread out. You can find that on YouTube at 3.97 thousand subs.
So can I offer what my favorite piece of advice she gave was?
Yes,
Can I
please.
share
That's what
that?
we're here for. It's a featured content creator.
Okay. My absolute favorite was it tied into her first tip with not like don't push. Don't
It should just
strain.
slide out.
She said it should slide out. Don't push. If you need to relax, a technique that can help you is pretend you're blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
If you can't poop, it's just too hard. Pretend you're blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, the last time
Try it.
I just and I don't know how much it helped, but it did relax me overall. I was like, well, this is pleasant. I was less stressed about the activity.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know how, if you're ever having a baby, if you're ever having a baby.
If ever I'm in that position.
Yeah, your legs are up on the stirrups and you're having a baby.
Yeah.
It's a lesser version of the kind of thing, and but
I don't know, man. I picture myself fighting for my life on that toilet. I don't think blowing bubbles is really gonna.
I don't know. Try it.
Okay.
If you're within earshot of us, just, I don't know, try it. Maybe you feel relaxed now.
You gentlemen over there, I know this is playing on the speakers, but you're walking past. Blow bubbles the next time you poop.
Yeah. And hey, if you're a method actor, get a bottle.
Yeah, get a bottle of bubbles.
Get a bottle of bubbles.
Take it in there.
Not a bottle of bubbly.
Yeah,
because I can hear that can.
Yeah.
I hear that can really disrupt your colon.
See, so she said, pretend you're blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
And now that could go two ways. Like, I was like, am I blowing bubbles with my ass? Or am I like, I legitimately, that was a thought of mine. I was like, so then I'm sitting there thinking, like, I was like, if I were to blow bubbles with my ass, what would that be like? I feel like there'd be strain involved.
Well, it's a learned procedure.
Yeah.
You don't just sit down on day one and
just blow bubbles with your ass. You build up to that.
Yeah, it's like becoming a Jedi.
Yeah.
You don't just block bullets with your lightsaber.
Lift that X-wing out of the swamp. You gotta work up to it.
You gotta make bubbles in the swamp first. I don't know.
So if you don't take anything away from this episode, blow bubbles when you're pooping. That way you have a healthier poop so that it just slides right out.
Yeah. If you take nothing away.
Yeah.
I don't know. They say if you want to grow on YouTube or any platform, offer something of use. Help somebody
I feel like
out.
It's pretty useful.
I think today's
been pretty useful.
Yeah. Don't tell your kids they can't ride a rhinoceros through the desert.
Yeah.
And pretend to blow bubbles when you poop.
Yeah. That about covers it.
Don't get the two mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't ride a rhinoceros when you poop, and
I don't know. If you give bubbles to your kids,
Yeah.
tell them to go blow bubbles. That's safe. That's
Yeah.
fine. But I don't know. Maybe
Good shit. Good shit today, man.
maybe
And hopefully good shit's in your future.
yes. Here from the CS Podcast, we wish you
A Merry Shitmas.
and a happy
Oh, God, I don't know. You put me on the spot.
that's a shit year.
Oh,
That was it.
I was going new something.
And a happy new poo. Happy new poos.
Your poo year's resolution.
Okay, you win. You have officially won.
Merry Shitmas and a happy poo year.
Oh, bother. Can't believe I didn't say poo year. Man.
Just a smackle of honey.
Tut tut. Looks like rain.
That looks like rain.
Tut tut. Looks like poo. I'm a little black rain cloud, of course. I love that clip. See, we used to do an hour and a half of just that.
Yeah, we did. We've really refined our craft.
I thought you were about to say crap. Really
No.
refined our crap. We sure have.
We're actually offering something for the audience other than just entertainment.
Yeah, we're offering them a podcast.
Yeah, it's educainment.
Edutainment.
Educainment. You
Or
guys are welcome.
Or intercations.
Intercations.
And here we are giving teachers crap.
We're giving them shit.
Yeah. Hopefully healthier poos.
Yeah, healthier shits.
Yeah.
We're going to give you shit, but it's at least going to be healthier than the one you were already taking.
Right.
All right, we've droned on enough.
Okay. Well. I just knew once I started talking, I was going to start laughing. Because I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, we've been the Scottish Hush Puppy, and I got some food to go eat.
Old Scottish dingleberry over here.
No.
Until next time, my ghastly gang, stay poopy.
Jordan Bell stirred. Jordan Bell stirred.
Create shit. Build anything. Make it real.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the molly and I think it's be my third. Jordan Bell third.